in the last 14 months, the country has just gone down the drain. All the worst economic indicators, but even worse, the hopelessness, seeing the same faces again, and seeing the establishment standing with them, and then trying to block the way of the biggest party in the country, so that these crooks could again win the elections. That is what is causing hopelessness. And secondly, that means completely dismantling the democratic structure that had been evolving over a period of time. So we are right now back to square one. And this is why the coming elections, could be vital for our country's future. In my opinion, no matter whatever the establishment wants, I think that people will come out in such great numbers and they will vote against these criminals. And I think we will have a huge change. But other people are watching the grip of the establishment right now, and then the draconian measures right now. People are just losing hope, and they feel that there's no hope, and they're leaving the country.
Okay, Mr. Khan, that actually reminds me what happened in GB. As we are aware, none of the prime ministers in Pakistan has ever served a full 5 years term in last 75 years, despite having their party's majority of the seats. And also, we know that PTI government was overturned in both GB and Kashmir. And on the election day, July 7th, the GB parliament was sealed by the police, and even the assembly speaker was not allowed the entry. So considering all these hurdles, how we can expect that upcoming elections to be free and fair? If the PTI wins a majority of the seats, what does the future hold, given what has happened in GB recently, which you are aware? It is also worth looking at elections announced by the Supreme Court on May 4th were not held in both provinces. So what actually, given these challenges and previous incidents, how we can ensure free and fair elections if PTI wins the majority of the seat? What does the future hold based on what happened in GB, for us? That you were overturned after 3.5 years. So even if given these challenges, how will we make sure that free and fair elections will happen, and what will be the future of our democracy?
So, Jeremy, can I have just one question after this? Can you make this the last question?
Just a few more
So,
minutes.
so I'll just answer this, and then one question after this. Look, Safina, look. What happened in Gilgit-Baltistan and what happened in Azad Kashmir is a disaster for our democracy. Because what you saw was the manipulation by the establishment of pulling down a government. Now, if this keeps happening, the democratic process can never evolve. So you are always, beholden to a powerful establishment, which then decides to make or break governments. And the damage done to Pakistan, and I'm not talking about PTI, the damage done to Pakistan by what General Bajwa did by removing a running economy, a government that had gone out, had dealt with COVID, one of the best top 3 countries in the world, which dealt with the biggest crisis, humanity faced for almost a century, and then brought the economic performance, 6% growth rate, average last 2 years, to bring down that government and replace it with these cabal of crooks, and then they crash the economy and destroy the governance system. So who is going to pay for this? Who should be responsible for this? Will anyone ever be held responsible for doing this such tremendous damage to the country? I mean, the amount of damage done to the common people going below the poverty line, half our industry closed today, growth rate from 6% coming down to 0.3%, which has consequences. When industry shuts down, it takes quite a while to again open up your industry or restart it. So this is what happens when someone makes decisions in a closed room without any debate and then not accountable to anyone, and he can then trot off anywhere while the country just goes down the drain. So, and I'm afraid in Gilgit-Baltistan, the tragedy is that Khalid Khalid Khurshid was one of the best chief ministers I've seen in Pakistan. He was outstanding. And to actually bring him down and his government, such a great disaster was done to people of Gilgit-Baltistan. I think it is sad what happened. I think it is not just bad for democracy, but for the people of the entire Gilgit-Baltistan province. So to conclude, let me just say, look, our democracy has to move forward. We have no choice but to have democracy. A bad democracy is better than a military dictatorship. This is a consensus amongst the people of Pakistan. So where do we go from here? The question you're asking is that what happens if there are no free and fair elections? Right now, no one thinks there are going to be free and fair elections because they're already planning to rig the elections. But my opinion, I'm an optimist. I feel that in this election, the level of public awareness in Pakistan is so much that I feel that you will have the greatest ever turnout in these elections. And no matter how hard they try to rig it, I'm a strong believer that the people in this country will defeat all methods of rigging which are being planned. No matter how hard they try to rig it, I'm a strong believer that the people in this country will defeat all methods of rigging which are being planned.
On the subject of biryani, do you like aloo or no aloo?
Well, you know, as you get older, your tastes change. So biryani was a great delicacy of mine some 40 years ago. But right now, you know, I'm afraid there are other delicacies that I enjoy most. But then, yes, biryani with aloo I like more. But right now, you know, I'm afraid there are other delicacies that I enjoy most. But then, yes, biryani with aloo I like more. Well, you know, Jeremy, I have a very strong faith in God, which always keeps you going, because you know, you try your best, and since I'm not doing this for myself, I'm doing this for my country. Why am I doing this for my country? Because I'm one of those privileged people who got so much love and respect from his country that it was important for me to try and do my best for them. And so I've tried to do my best for my people. And the rest I leave to the Almighty. Because, you know, it's success and failure are in His hands. Effort, struggle is in my hand. And I will be struggling to my last breath. But then how do I relax and stay calm and content at night? Because after doing my best, then I pray to the Almighty that, look, now it's up to you. You are the one who's going to decide whether I succeed or fail. So actually, that's how I go through all the tough times. And I have to say that these 12 months, and particularly the last 2 months, have been probably the toughest 2 months of my life. That's how I go through all the tough times. And I have to say that these 12 months, and particularly the last 2 months, have been probably the toughest 2 months of my life.